Well, good morning. Good morning, everyone. We are live this morning. I'll give a couple minutes for YouTube to come on and tell the people that we are here. It is Monday morning. We're ready for another short week. We have holiday in the middle of this week, and we want to see what kind of opportunities we have to make a few dollars during this short week. Okay, see what we got. We can present ourselves. Show this. Share the screen. Good morning, all. Good morning. Come on in. Come on in the room. Come on in the room. The guy on Instagram always says, "Get in here. Get in here. Get in here. Get in here." So come on in the room. Let's see what we have to offer today. What the market has to offer for us today. Yeah, a little bit of time. So I'm going to make sure that we're giving space to everybody, giving time. I say 8:30. By the time they pop on, already running. And they're like, you didn't even give us a chance to get in here before you was already off and going. No fair. No fair. Morning, Marcia. How are you? All righty. Checking out the charts right now. This is, we can go to the daily. I'm not sure if this bothers anything on the SPX 500 daily chart. We kind of want to know what's happening now. The daily chart just shows us what's happened on previous days. Let's get us maybe a 15-minute chart so we can see what's been going on overnight. SPX, those who trade futures, probably popped on last night, made them a few dollars on a Sunday evening. I guess. I don't trade futures, but I know people who do. They seem to enjoy it. I looked into futures and was like, I don't know if I want to learn something else at this point. And then I decided to just pause, to give it a pause. That's what I decided to do. So this is what we got going. Looks like over through the night, we've just been kind of in a consolidation zone in the S&P. We'll see what happens when the market opens here in a minute. So what happens? The VIX this morning is at 1303. It is up 2.9% or up 37 cents. The VIX is up to 13. VIX up. Market down a little bit. Good morning, Nori. S&P 6,000. While the stock market rally may have more room to run. Okay, after a rough start in 2024, the latest inflation data may very well mean more fuel for the bull market. NEOs back in the discussion for a long time. They were something people talked about all the time. Next thing you know, they weren't getting mentioned at all. Tesla versus Toyota. Kevin Paffrith compares automaker growth. Toyota is a fan. I'm a fan of Toyotas. What to know this week? Can the records continue? Stock futures are steady near records as Wall Street gets bullish. China's property drag is getting worse. What we do need to keep in mind for this week is on Wednesday, we're going to have a day off. It will be Juneteenth. Now, I say a day off, we're going to be celebrating Juneteenth. That's what we're going to be doing on Wednesday. So the market, as I understand it, is going to be closed. So trade accordingly. Okay. Hey, as a seller, you can get some stuff on Tuesday and let Theta help you so that by Thursday, it will run up even more. Yes. Okay. So our pre-market Dow futures down 0.17%. Hey, Tanya. S&P futures down 0.02%. Basically, these two are about flat. Well, Dow futures down 64 is not really flat. S&P futures down 1 is flat. NASDAQ futures up 32 or 0.16%. That's green. Oil is green. 10-year bonds green. Stock futures are little changed as S&P 500 looks to add to the record. Apple supplier TDK says battery breakthrough can deliver higher performance for wearable devices. Don't know if is TDK a stock? Is that a company that has stock unloved, stock market rally? Why so many investors find it hard to embrace this run to record? I think one of the things, and I can't speak for why these investors are finding it hard. I think for us, anybody who analyzes, when you're up here at the top at these numbers, you're just like, this kind of is unsustainable and it's unfounded. It's like, what is this all based on? And when will the rug get pulled? So you're kind of hesitant to trade going up, but everything's going up. So I know as a seller, I'm hesitant to get on the other side, which is the call credit spread side, because things seem to keep going up. But you're hesitant to get on the put credit side because at any moment stuff can the bottom can fall out of it. So you have to trade. Again, this is not investment advice, but you kind of have to trade kind of short term, trade what you see and plan to, I won't say get in and out, but I'm definitely not suggesting that anybody be a scalper, because you can, of course, you do what your money, what you want to do with it. This is, you're the CEO of your own portfolio. But I'm saying the longer you're in trades, you're in situations where the movement, and if you're in long term, you probably don't care about these pulls and moves. But if you're in a trade for a week or 2 weeks and the rug gets pulled, there's not a lot of time there for recovery. Okay, so keep that in mind. Inside Out 2 hits 150 million domestic debut, second highest animation opening ever. I actually liked the movie Inside Out 1. I thought it was pretty good. So we'll probably see Inside Out 2, but we're probably going to see it at home. We're going to see it at the house because, we went to the movies a couple weeks ago and saw, what did we go to see? Something at the movies. Oh, Planet of the Apes. Went to go see Planet of the Apes. And the movies are the movies. I'm going to leave that alone. So this week, as far as our meetings and stuff goes, we've got G7 meetings starting today, right? Empire State Manufacturing Index is at 8:30, which has just been populated. And FOMC member Cook is going to speak at 9 o'clock. I think there's another person speaking after them. When I look on the investing.com, we'll be able to see it. Hey, Miss Barbara. Tuesday or tomorrow, we're going to have G7 meetings, core retail sales month over month, retail sales month over month. That's first thing in the morning before the market opens. Industrial production, capacity utilization rate, business inventories. FOMC member Barkin and Kugler will speak tomorrow, and tick long-term purchasing. I told you Wednesday the 17th is a bank holiday. I believe the market is closed on Wednesday as well. And if I'm not accurate, y'all correct me, but I believe the market's closed on Wednesday. That's why you really have nothing here. Thursday, unemployment claims comes in the beginning. Before market opens. Building permits, Philly Fed, current account, and housing starts is all at 8:30. Crude oil at 11, probably should be an orange folder. And Barkin will speak at 3:30. On Friday, we've got flash manufacturing PMI, flash services PMI, existing home sales, CV leading index, and natural gas storage. So Janae says, good morning, good Monday morning. Note there's another link for today starting at 9:25. I want to see Inside Out. Yeah, I changed the link. I thought I did. Juneteenth is Wednesday. I thought I took off the 9:25 one. Because a link, where was a link? I don't know where you would have seen a link, but either way, 8:30. I went back and I did go and try to pull those back, but maybe it didn't catch it. It was taking a long time to spin. 8:30 today, New York Empire State Manufacturing Index 3-month bill auction, 6-month bill auction. FOMC member Williams will speak at 12. I knew there was somebody else. Williams is speaking at 12, and Harker is going to speak at 1. And then Fed Governor Cook will speak at 2100, which is tonight. We won't be here for that. The market will be closed for that. Okay, market will be closed. Okay, let's go and see what we got on our earnings for this week. Earnings season is winding up, so we don't have a whole lot on the list for earnings this week. Not much here. Lennar, I believe, is Homes. That's today after market closes. Lazy Boy and Quantum are today after market close. Tomorrow, before, we got America's Car-Mart, Cognite, and Patterson. KB Homes is tomorrow after market closes. And we want to thank EP for always putting out this nice graphic. Appreciate it, sirs and ma'ams. Wednesday after market close, we've got Steelcase, got a few popping up. Is it more in Aurora, Accenture, Kroger, Darden Restaurants is going to be Thursday. Winnebago, GMS, Silvaco, I think that says. And then Thursday after market close is Smith and Wesson. Anybody got a Smith and Wesson? I don't, but I got other stuff. Algoma. I didn't mean to go yet. And then come back here. I can't see the last 2 days. It moved forward. There we go. CarMax is Friday before the open, and FactSet is Friday before the open. So I guess if you're looking at anticipated, I usually see Kroger pops up a lot in the high IV space. So a lot of people trade it for premiums. I see that pop up over in there a lot. CarMax may be something else that catches, maybe of interest. Lennar and KB Homes could be because of the fact of where we are in our, where we are in our home building spaces and what the economy is looking like. That may have some impacts as well. Here's our list of trade ideas for the week. It's very short. I decided every time I would look at the list that I created, every time I look at that list, I would thank you, Jamie. I would say, well, there's so much on here and it's almost too much. And for somebody who would be a newbie in this space or somebody who's a beginner in this space, too many options could just be too many options. So, well, I guess we're talking Jamie. We're talking Adam. Anyway, too many options would be too many options. So I was like, let me figure out how I can shorten or how I can make this list a little bit shorter. So we'll talk about that now in a minute after I talk about what Adam Mancini has to say. After last week's 100 plus point CPI squeeze, we've been basing with 5402 and 5442 largely being the range in SPX. On Friday, I was looking for the rally from 5402 to 5431. We hit 5431 into close, and we've been here ever since. Plan 5423 equals support, which is weak now. This keeps 5442 and the breakout live. If 5423 fails, then we dip to 5409. 54. See, he said up at the top here that the 5402 and 5442 was kind of the range. So we probably can stay in that same range if, as things play out. I don't see per se any catalyst for much movement outside of that, but listen, the market do what the market want to do. So even though I may not see a catalyst, doesn't mean it won't do its thing. Okay, the gap between ES and SPX is currently 70 points. Hey Asleen, I got you, Nori. So the gap is currently 70 points. So if you're looking at Adam's numbers on your own, subtract 70 at this point. Okay, I see. Here's our list again. What I was saying was, before the list jumped off the screen, what I was saying was I wanted to shorten this list so that not that we don't have many choices, but that we didn't feel overwhelmed. I didn't want people to feel overwhelmed by the number of choices. So I shortened it down to include only the lower risk put credit spreads and call credit spreads. So I look at the used Peakbot. I look at Peakbot. The Peakbot watch list is what I use to pull this list from, right? So I go to Peakbot. I get this watch list. They have it set out in lower risk, moderate risk, and high risk. And I don't put that high risk stuff on our list ever because I just, somebody wants to do that, that's on them. But I don't suggest that to the masses. So anyway, lower risk has its own category and moderate risk. I decided to just do the lower risk on the put credit spread, call credit spreads only. These are all lower risk. Many times though, I just want you to know lower risk a lot of times means you may get lower premiums. So just keep that difference. I'm comparing the ES to SPX 500. I'm comparing ES to SPX 500 because there's no way for you to see the SPX right now when the market is closed. So then I do the iron condor spreads. I got the iron condor spreads. These did come from the moderate risk category, and this is because they have neutral, like there's not bullish or bearish, it's neutral. So I got these from the moderate risk. There's just 4 of these iron condors. Y'all know I'm a fan of iron condors. Put credit spreads, call credit spreads, and iron condor. So I see Dow is on the list. What else? What other ones do we have a desire to look at? I think I'm gonna look at Oracle. I know I'm gonna look at Oracle, and I see that Nori put up that she wanted Dow to be looked at, and I see Netflix has been added to the list. All righty. We got 2 banks down in the iron condor, Wells Fargo and Citibank, or Citigroup, I think they're called. FCX, and I don't really trade BABA, but it did have decent premiums from when I looked at it. Anything else we want to look at? If so, you might want to go ahead and put it into the, FCX, Tanya. Gotcha. All righty. Let's change my screen then as we go. Janae, tell me where you're comparing ES and SPX so that way I can see what you're talking about with the 11. I think Jamie said something last week about having things look much closer as well. But just know that the nomenclature for the ES changes. It changes. So what I do is I come here to TradingView and I put in ES. And when I put in ES, the E-mini S&P futures is what I pull up. Just ES, right? And I compared that to the SPX 500 on TradingView. Hey, Karen. I compared that to SPX 500. Okay, so if you see here, so this is the ES minis over here. Close that and close that because they make it crowded on the chart. I go here and I put in SPX 500. Okay, this says 54.28 right here, and this says 54.96. Okay, and when you're doing it live, depending on which one you're looking at again, because the ES again has different nomenclatures, and one will be still running while the new one is being used. So, okay, so that's how I've been doing it. When it's live, I'll look again when it's live. But at this point, I look in the pre-market between ES and SPX 500. We said we were looking at. Morning, Lisa. Did you work last night, Lisa? Do you work on Sunday nights or do you have Sunday nights off? Do you have the nights off? Let's see. Oracle. Oh, I was going to look at Dow first, but Oracle we can look at. Let's go to the daily chart. Oracle has a big old gap here that we're pondering. Actually, I think I might. No, I don't want to go there. I was thinking I did, but I don't. I don't. This would be a fair value gap. Again, remember, fair value gap has something to do with the first candle and the third candle. And if they don't match up with the open and the close, then it creates a fair value gap between those two. Okay. The first candle, top of the first candle, bottom of the third candle. If they don't get to the same place, that creates a gap between those two. It's called a fair value gap. So that's what this green stuff is right here. That's what this green box is a fair value gap. The market likes to close it back. I want to say it goes at least to the halfway point. Something happens about closing it halfway. Again, I know very little about fair value gaps, just kind of as I picked up along the way. So fair value gaps. Gotcha, Lisa. Okay, so because we have a big old gap here, it will need some, we go from the close to the open, pull back off the wick. Okay, that's the gap fill that I see that will need to be filled between those two candles. When I looked up to go to where we're gonna go for, it's Oracle's on the call credit spread list, right? No, it's on the put credit spread list. 134, 135, which is right around up in this area, the top of this gap. That's what I gave for the strikes. But let's see. I went right in here as support. I don't need both of you. I went in there as support. I also went in here to look at I went to go to the option chain. Option chain. I went to go to the option chain to see what do we see as far as our probability out of the money. Oracle with an L. There we go. Oracle for the week. If you're going to ride this week, you might have a little bit of help from Theta because you got an extra day in the middle. But of course, you got to make sure that you get a good strike. 134, 135. 135 is an 80% probability out of the money. So between those two, and we had a plus minus 3. So I took away 3 from here, gave us 135. And of course, the market is closed. But if you select that now, it's paying a whole $5. The market is closed though. So that's going to adjust once the market opens and price starts to move around. All righty, 134, 135 for Oracle. I also see you could potentially do a call credit spread up here because it has hit this resistance and come on back down. So you might consider, even though it's showing as a put credit spread, you could look at a call credit spread at or above, I'm gonna say 143. So let's look again at the option chain, because if we're here if we add 3 to this, we're at 141, right? 141 is a 76%. So even if you went to 142, 143, you're at 85%. So it may have an opportunity for an iron condor, even based on this coming out of the resistance area, coming out of the sell zone. You might be able to use that 142 or 143. I hope you all had a good Father's Day yesterday. For the men that are on the call, I don't know if I've seen any men that were on the call so far. They hadn't said good morning at least. But I hope y'all had a good Father's Day. If you could honor your own father, I hope you did so. Yesterday, I spent some time, y'all probably saw the pictures. I spent some time in Savannah with Mr. That's what he wanted to do for Father's Day. So we took us a little short, it's only 2 hours away for us. We took us a little day trip and went up there and rode on the boat and enjoyed the river and did all the stuff that he wanted to do, which was good. I'm always so busy, and not that he doesn't get his own share of time, but I'm always very busy. So when he can get uninterrupted time, he's all for it. He is all for it. Hey, Ward, I think it's important to know that you should know, and your partner should know, what is your love language. So that way, you know how to best put money into their love bank, put deposits, not money, put deposits into their love bank, and how to best have your love bank filled as well. Alrighty, so this is Dow. Dow is on the, I think Dow is on the call credit spread list. Dow's on the call credit spread list. Nori asked about this one. This is our, maybe you honored your husbands and honored, even though some people go, like, that ain't he not my daddy. Well, this is true. He's not your dad, but it doesn't hurt to say, that's a way to say thank you. Thank you. Okay, so we do have a break of structure here, so we could have a little bit more downwards, right? And there's equilibrium. You probably could get into here into the 55. What did I put for the strikes? 56, 57 is what I have for strikes. And that's based on this candle, this little cherish or doji candle right here in the middle. That's where I got that from. 56, 57. Let's go see what it shows on the option chain. So we're looking at Dow. I want you to know, if you've gotten a stock that you like to, you're renting and repeating, and that you want to continue to trade week after week, then use that. Okay. Use that. If you got something that's working for you, keep on renting and repeating it. Right. What did we say? I think I said 55, 56. No, 56, 57. 56 is 78% probability out of the money. We got a 1.2 over here. So now this is gonna feel a little close, because 1.2, really, you don't have a 50-cent spread there, but you just gonna go up $1. $1. So let's change it to vertical. 56, 57 is paying $11. Market is closed, but it's showing now $11. All right, 11% return on your money. Yes, yes, and yes, yes. The boat ride was really nice. It was really nice to ride down the Savannah River and hearing the history and stuff about the Savannah River. I thought that was really nice. It was nice, and they had enough umbrellas to keep you cool and stuff like that too. So that was good. Oh, where are we? No, I don't want to be here. Okay, so we got Oracle down. Next person on the list was Netflix. Miss Janae wanted to look at Netflix. Let's go see what we got here. Netflix. With Bridgerton's second set of these episodes, I'm sure they've got a nice little interesting party, because I've been, you know how it's only gonna be a few episodes, so you don't want to watch it too fast. I've been watching my little episode. I watch like one a day. I didn't want to don't want to watch them all at once. Yeah, I did need the break. I was on the way home. My husband and I were talking about, how we had gone. I told him we spent some time together. He was like, okay. He said, this break wasn't just about me. He was like, you needed the break too. You needed to get, you're always in front of those screens. You needed the break too. And I was like, yeah, this is true. I really did need. We ended up taking a longer break than I wanted, because he wanted to do some stuff Saturday, which we were supposed to be out for a couple of hours, ended up being all day. And so it ended up being 2 days. I had a whole long list. Y'all might have saw my post that said I had a long to-do list, and none of it got done. None of it. So that means I need to do some stuff. I go back in the classroom next week on Monday. So I gotta get all my other to-do list stuff I need to have it mostly done. Karen said she binged Bridgerton last night. I decided I was not binging it this time, because when I binge watched the first 4 episodes of this season, and then it was like over, and I was like, I had to wait. So I was like, when the next ones come out, I'm watching one at a time, and then I'm going to something else. Okay, so this is Netflix. This is the Netflix. We've got, going upwards continuity at this point. Well, these greens kind of don't count. The weekly, the quarterly, and the yearly, those do count. The daily and the weekly don't count, because today is the first day and the market hasn't opened. So don't count these two greens. Thanks, Miss Barbara. Don't even talk about it. Don't even talk about what happened in these episodes. No, ma'am. Okay, but I see for Netflix, let me go look and see I see the support there at 654. Netflix need to be on the split list. Netflix need to be talking about splitting too with everybody else. They need to be saying we gonna split too, because it's time. Okay. Where was I? There we go. Ooh, put credit spreads. Let's see. Plus minus 19, plus minus 20. Puts us down to what? 650? 650 puts us down in here. 80% probability out of the money. It's a 2.5 spread, so that part's pleasant. 650, 647, 647.5, 650. Shows it's paying $47. That's almost a 20% return. Miss Barbara says she binged it last Friday too. Don't y'all listen, people. No. I'm gonna watch one more episode today, sometime today. I'll watch one more episode. I'm excited for Penelope though. I wanted this for her. I'm just kind of thinking there's getting ready to be a twist that I know I haven't seen yet. But 647.5, 650, I think is a good place for your support and your trade there. If you were feeling froggy, Janae, and you wanted to do Iron Condor, you could get up above this 6.7. Maybe you could go up to 680. You could get up here above this resistance area and go to 680 and maybe make it an Iron Condor. You could potentially do that. And you're having this extra week in the middle, extra day in the middle, not extra week, extra day in the middle could be helpful as well. Let's look at FCX. I did start watching Your Honor the other day on Netflix because somebody else posted that it was a good series. And I was thinking Your Honor was a movie I had watched, but it's a series. And after the first episode, there was a lot that happened in episode 1. It was like, oh, snap. So Your Honor, it keeps popping up on mine as a suggestion for you, probably because I like those little limited series and stuff like that. Pivot point. Do I have pivots turned on? I should have pivots on. Pivots is not on here. I need the pivots. Maybe I need to change to the other side. There is an indicator called pivots. Do I have it turned on? Yes, I do. Okay, there's an indicator called pivots. And what the pivots indicator will do is it will show you the support and resistance lines or the places that there could be a pivot. FCX. It's a good little indicator to have. They may have one on Thinkorswim. I'm not sure. This is TradingView. And I'm not sure if you can see this in here, but these little orange lines, let me see if you can see. FCX. Oh, FCX is an Iron Condor. I'm liking this. These little orange lines here, I know they're probably hard for you to see from your computers, but they show like support 2, support 1 is 47.19, support 2 is 45.05. This is when you're over here now. The support 1 is here. So these pivots show up in the chart to help you to see where the prices may slow down or may turn around. You might consider, for those of you who are TradingView people, you might consider using that. You might consider using that indicator. Let me turn this off because that gap has been closed. Okay, so I'm looking at FCX. For FCX, we're looking at an Iron Condor. And I took us to, I charted this one right in here based on this candle, this formation right here. And then I took us here to the bottom. Actually, you could use this line, this setup back here from April the 23rd, that is. You can use that as your support, which is 47.45. And for your resistance, you got 49.98. Okay, so this shows these two kind of, even though we have been kind of on a down ride. Now, remember I told y'all about when we're doing Iron Condors, you would want to consider entering one as price comes closer to that area and enter the other one as price is closer to that area, unless price is literally just hanging out in the middle, which we've seen it do that. Speaking of which, which was the trade I did last week that I went back in for, was it UPS? But I went back in on Thursday for, I think it was UPS. I went back in on Thursday for some more for me, another iron condor on Thursday that closed on Friday. Yep, successful. I put a note in our Telegram and talked about that UPS trade. I'm gonna have to look at UPS again. Okay, so this is FCX. What I have for FCX is 45.5, 46.5. Now, what was weird about FCX is on one side there was a 50-cent spread, I think, and on the other side it wasn't. So 46.5 and 50.51. So I went with the 46.5, went under here. I might have even gone under this gap that is not filled. Is this gap filled? It is not. Actually, the top of the gap can also work as, I know it's not what I wanted. This is a gap that's not filled yet. The top of this gap is 47.25. That puts you there. Actually, I went with 46.5, but it might have been okay to do a different strike. Let's go back to the single. Maybe it was this that made me pause on the getting too close. 1.7, I took this away like a 2 away. You know, I just round these numbers. Take away 2, put me at 46.5 is actually what I picked because it has 75% probability out of the money. You could go with 46.45. I think the premiums were very low. Maybe that's what made me change that. 46.5. You could do it as a one spread, and then you can get on the other side, 50.51. It's at 84% probability out of the money. Try your iron condor, and let's see what we would get. If we did 46.5, 45.5, take this, and you have to change this to, there's $12 on the put credit spread side. And if you wanted 50.51, there's another $10. So $22 for an iron condor one spread. That's a 20% return on that. Might be a good move. Okay. I'm going to look at two more. I'm going to look at ENPH. We hadn't talked about that one. That hadn't showed up on our list again yet. But let's go see what Enphase is talking about. If you're still hanging out with me, go ahead and like and subscribe to the channel. Make sure that you do the thumbs up, hit the notification bell. Tell the world that we are here and we're making it do what it do. Getting ourselves ready for Monday morning in the market. I do want to encourage you to not jump into the market too fast after a weekend, because all the orders from people who studied over the weekend and done this and that and the third, people who work at big broker firms who set up their orders for the week, all that stuff comes in on Monday mornings. All right. So I don't want you to get caught in the trap. So give it at least 15, I would say at least 30 minutes, to be honest. Give it at least 30 minutes to let things happen and let the 10 o'clock turnaround start doing its thing, because 10 o'clock turnaround is a thing. So make sure that you give it time. All right, this is Enphase. Enphase seems to be kind of in a range here, doesn't it? We've got a resistance up here at 140 and some change. We've got a pivot point down here at 121. Okay, this gap has been filled, so we can take this one off. So if I was looking at, I like to support right here. Honestly, you probably could take it up even to there, 122. It's pre-market. It's at 124 right now, is where it is in the pre-market. And for resistance, this is actually higher than it needs to be. We're probably right in here at 133. Now, listen, Enphase likes to jump around. So if you're going to trade Enphase, you definitely want to plus minus 6.7. You want to go with this plus minus number at the very least. Expert options trade. I'm not sure what you're asking me. 6.7. You'd go up 6.7 and go down 6.7. So we're at like 130. 131, you'd want to go, and then you'd want to go down 6.7, go down 7 to like 117. Okay, 117 puts us at 81% probability out of the money. And 131 puts us at 76 or 80. You can go up there, 131 and what did I say, 117? 131 and 117. 130, 117 is paying $15 for one spread. And 131 is paying $30. $30 for one spread. Have mercy on us. Have mercy. Okay, now we did know that Enphase does pay good premiums, but you want to be able to, you want to go out as far as you're comfortable. So you make sure that, because Enphase likes to do a little dance, make a little love, like to do all that. And you don't want to be caught up in the dancing or any of that, right? But I do see that it likes to give, seems like it likes to give good premiums. And we want to be okay with that, okay? One spread is there. Oh, you know what? We said we are going to look at NVIDIA. We talked about it in the chat a little bit, and very little conversation. Y'all, on the weekend, I guess, we're like, it's the weekend. We're not talking stock till Sunday night. Don't be coming in here on a Saturday talking about charting something. That's what I did. I think I said on Saturday, I said to chart something, and folks was like, it was crickets in there. Oh, you want us to chart on a Saturday? No. We don't chart on Saturdays. No. We don't do that. Okay, so this is UPS. We're right here at support. Actually, it's currently at this support at 134. Support from back here at the end of May. And resistance has us right here at 138. So between 134 and 138. And you do see it has kind of been hanging around. If you wanted a little more room, you could take this up to 139 and some change if you wanted more space. But let's see. Let's see what the option chain has to say about UPS. Plus minus 3. So if we were subtracting 3, we'd be at 132 and some change. So 132 should be all right over here. And if we were adding 3, we'd be at 138, 139. So 132 and or 139. 132, 139. Let me write them down so I don't forget them and have to look back. Okay, so now if we switch over to the vertical, 132, 131, 132 is paying $10 currently. Of course, the market is closed. And 139 is paying another $10. So $20 is what you get there if you want to do an iron condor on UPS. But remember what we talked about, that we wait till it comes down to support, which let's see, what is the support for? And this, I'm just going to use UPS as our judgment. So as our little example, 134 is the support. So as price comes to 134, right? As it comes, you on your chart, you just say as price comes in the 134, you want to put in an alert that says enter the put credit spread trade. And as price gets up to the 138.53, then you want to say, you want to put in an alert that says to enter your call credit spread. And when you're entering, as it's closer to these zones, you want to make sure that it hits and turns around. You make sure that it does reverse. And then you come on in there. All right. Tanya said I was out. When I got home, I crashed. I hear you. I hear you. I had a long day Saturday. We went and did all that. And we hung out, then went to church. And then my husband was like, well, since we were out all day, we need to cut the grass. So I'm the grass cutter. Our yard is about this big. So I cut and he edges. He does all the hard stuff. All righty. So chart your way to 100K. This the extra. I told you this is the training that is up and running. It's all the basics and everything you need to do to learn how to chart and do technical analysis. You got support and resistance, evaluating trends, finding and marking your gaps, candlesticks and their patterns, indicators, on so on and so forth. So it's great for beginners who don't even know what a chart is or where to get started. We're going to start right there, and it will go all the way up to those who are more advanced and are ready for indicators. It's going to go through all of that. Now, this training is available and has been available for about 2 weeks. But if you want to get in on the 4 weeks of interactive coaching, which is what I've put with this release, I've put with it for this time. If you want to be a part of that, I'm closing that today. So if you've been holding on, God is going to wait till we're starting the lessons on Thursday. We're starting the coaching piece on Thursday. The lessons are starting now. You basically have some stuff you got to watch and you need to do. The lessons are starting now. The coaching piece of it starts on Thursday, but you need to be prepped and ready when you get there on Thursday, because I'm not reteaching what has already been taught inside the training, but I'm coming alongside you to help to make sure that you understand and that you get what's been taught. Okay. If you're signing up for Chart Your Way to 100K, the training course, you need to go ahead because it's time. It's time. If you've been holding off, the $200 off is expiring, so we're ready to rock and roll on this one. Okay, that's what we got going on there. Vertical debit spreads. If you're trading as a buyer, but you know you don't want to pay the full buyer price for options contracts, then you can do debit spreads. Here's a training for debit spreads. It just got updated and it's being sold for $27. You can go and grab it at my website for $27 at educatortotrader.com. Regular price is $97, but I put it on special because I updated it and brought it to the forefront again. So if you want to use that, if you want to get access to that, you need to go ahead and do that. Okay. The E2T membership, which is basically, you hear me talking about putting things in the chat and talking to the people who are the members. This is the E2T membership, where we're basically there for all the things. We're there for the charting. The members get to come to all the trainings that I do. We have our morning calls. We have our weekly calls. We have coaching once a month on a Saturday, but then we're there in a Telegram where we're basically doing the coaching and such all the time. It's regular. It's pretty regular. So when we need help along the way, this is where the membership is, and there's where we go ahead and get access to the coaches. And when you need that person to look at your stuff to say, yes, this is okay, or no, don't do this. This is where the trade ideas come directly in. When I've entered a trade, this is where I put it right in there and go, oh, by the way, this is what's going on in my world. Okay, so consider joining up for that as well. I'm going to see if there's anything else. I believe I've covered all the stock we wanted to look at. I talked about our earnings. I talked about the meetings that are coming up today. I think I've hit all the things. I believe I have. Okay. Let's go ahead and get our way to our declaration so we can be up and ready for when the market does open. Again, I don't rush in at 9:30 unless you definitely got a plan that opens you up and closes right back up. With sellers, we don't usually function like that. Okay. So wait a minute. Put your alerts on. Take this extra time to put your alerts and stuff on your chart based on the numbers I just gave you. Or watch back through this video to find those numbers if you didn't write them down, and get your charts all ready for when your trade is ready to enter. You'll have everything set up. Those alerts made a huge difference, where the alert was on, and when it alerted and said basically UPS is at support, and I could go ahead and enter that trade. I didn't have to sit there staring at it or enter the trades when it wasn't optimal time. Okay, I'm using my alerts to help me enter at good timing. All right, the daily declaration is: I declare I'm a great trader. I declare I'm a successful trader. I declare I'm a focused trader. I declare my wins exceed my losses. My accounts growing more and more each week. I'm a wise and knowledgeable trader. I always make smart and lucrative decisions for my portfolios. I declare I'm a level-headed trader who does not trade my emotions. Lord, it's you who gives us the power to get wealth. You teach our hands to war with the purpose of establishing your kingdom. Help us today to trade wisely and strategically in order to fulfill this purpose. Give us more than enough, so we can have what we need and enough to be a blessing to others. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen, amen. All right. So we're ready for the day. I want you to know that you can do this. and that we don't always try to hit home runs. We hit base hits, and each base hit, these base hits add up, add up, add up, right? They add up. So we're not have to go for the big gusto, the 10x, the 3x, the 5x. You want to pull in 30, 40, $70 at a pop and be like, I'll take it. We'll take our 10%, our 20% and compound those up. That's what we're after. To pull 10 to 20% off a trade is something that's very doable. As a seller, we do want to go maybe a little bit further because we take in a little bit smaller premiums. But if you pull off 50% off of the premiums without getting yourself breached and you can clear, then yes, you are in business. If you're trading as a buyer, 10, 20, 30%, yes, you've done well. Okay. So this is what we're doing. I do hope that everybody has a really good day. We're going to do two things. We're going to stay green and we're going to get this money. All right. I'll see you all in the market. Goodbye, everyone.